We were discussing about databases, and we created a database as well as we went through multiple different uh, types of databases. We created tables, and we went through the filtering part of databases, how to filter a table, and we understood how to identify different data types, right? We went through numbers, text, and names, and also specific filtering criteria, right? So last week we tried out filtering it on an Excel sheet to filter it according to the descending order, according to the ascending order, and so on and so forth, right? So we tried out multiple things, and good work. So now we still talk about a little bit into databases, about investigating the uses of databases in school. Okay, so yes, we talked about something similar to this sometime back when we started the lecture. At the point we started the class itself, right? So there we talked about something similar, where we talked about how this different types of institutes and places, they will use the databases. We talked about this bus where they had some students in it, and where students go, and so on and so forth, right? Okay, so that's the typical data set we went through. But now let's see how what type of data we can find out in our school, and how we will learn to expose this data into a database. Okay, now there are two things when it comes to databases. Okay, so data is something which, technically speaking, we need to make sure that the data is secured, right? So we will be talking about 2 points now. Just think, if you have a database of let's say teachers, in that case, according to the homework you have done, so will that database valuable to someone else? What do you think? If somebody steals that database from you, මොකද හිතන්නේ? ඒ database එක තව කවුරුහරි ගත්තොත් ඒකේ වටිනාකමක් තියනවාද ගන්න කෙනාට? Will there be any value? Yes. Yeah. Either Rishan or Diranya, both of you can answer. You get the correct?
Yes.
Yes. What type of a value? මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන් data set එකේ? What can someone do from that data set? What do you think?
Insulting people.
Okay, yes, that is of course one way. But let's think about the good way now. In that data set, you have mentioned the salary of the teacher, right? Let's say, okay, think about this in a good way now. Let's say sorry? Yes?
Robbery.
Yes, yeah, robbery todai, yes, yeah, that is also true, right? Because now they know their salary, no? So somebody can ambush and rob them. That is also true. But think about a whole different point of view. Let's say if uh, I'm a salesman, okay? Let's say I'm a salesman who is trying to sell a car, or trying to sell some sort of a let's say household something, let's say a washing machine. Okay, now I want to know all the people who can afford to buy a washing machine, right? මගෙන් washing machine එක සල්ලි දීලා ගන්න පුළුවන් තත්ත්ව මිනිස්සුන්ගේ list එකක් මට ඕනේ. So in this case, when I get a list with all the salaries in it, Just like that, I can assume I know, okay, this person has money. So that means if I'm trying to sell a washing machine for 20,000 rupees, then we know this person can buy it, right? Who knows? Apart from robbing it, yes, yeah. So there are different means. Okay, so because of that reason, data is extremely valuable. Okay, now that is why we say now, even for you guys, what I always say is do not share too much of information online, because when you share that information, automatically what happens is that information is exposed to third parties, right? So let's say if you share, okay, so I know you guys are not using social media, but then again, when you, at least when you start, if you create a social media profile, be careful of sharing information, because now each and every photo, picture, whatever you put online is information, so that can be beneficial for someone else. So example is what people say, Google or Facebook, they know you better than you know yourself. Because they have so much of information about what type of videos you want to watch on YouTube, and what type of let's say if you like to search for dresses, what type of dresses you like, what type of food you like to eat, what type of drinks you like to drink, where you want to travel, all those information is saved. Okay, so that's what we call as information privacy. Anyway, let's come to that later on. But I hope you got the point, right? Information is very valuable, so you need to make sure that you keep it safe. So that's something which we will discuss later on. I just told you this because we have these particular keywords: access, database, permissions, and spreadsheet. So this database permissions is actually one of the key points which we need to discuss when it comes to permissions of accessing the system. Okay, so quick question. Let's do this example and see how it works. So look at the table below and answer the following questions. So there are a few questions. Let's first check the table and see what type of a table this is. So I think this is a table similar to what we saw earlier, right? At the beginning of the class. So we do have a student ID column, and we have the surname, we have the first name, we have a gender, of course, and the from tutor, and the house, and the birthday, and the bus number. So this is the same data structure which we are basically following, right? So we have this relationship where we entered this into an Excel sheet, which we did last week, and if you remember, we did filtering. So we sorted this according to different columns, and we filtered it, and we went through all the structures. If you missed that video, or if you missed the lecture, please go and check that link in the LMS. You can find the link. At the same time, at the same time, I have shared those links on the chat, our WhatsApp group as well. So let's take a quick look at the table. So we have the student ID, surname, first name, gender, from tutor, house, date of birth, and the bus number. Okay, now let's go up and let's check the questions. So the question number 1 is, what is the name of the male student who was born in 2014 and who is traveling on the bus number 7? Okay, so again, now this is what we call as making a query. Okay, so it's simply, okay, so the idea behind a query is simply something like asking a question. Okay, so I query for something, and here in this case I ask the question from the database, right? Now here in this scenario we have got this query, looking for some specific information, and we have to go through the database and find these details. Okay, so now you guys can tell me what it is. So what is the name of the male student? Okay, so what are the filters? What do we call as the filters here, Dirana? What are the filters? අපි මොනවලින්ද ෆිල්ටර් කරන්න ඕනේ data set එක? What are the filters? Yes. What would be the just think now in your Excel sheet you have the columns, no? So the columns, each and every column has a specific filter, right? So based on this filtering, what are the specific columns which we need to filter in this case when it comes to the first topic? Cool. Viranya, what do you think? කියන්න බාර මොකද හිතන්නේ? Oh, this one. What are the filters? Any idea? Okay, then let me tell you. Yes.
Sir, I think I don't know.
Perfect. That's perfectly fine.
I
Okay.
think I don't know.
No problem. No problem. Thanks. Thank you for expressing it. So perfectly fine. So filters. A filter is, so when I ask what is a filter is one of these fields, right? So these are the set of fields which we will be filtering the content from, right? So now if you check the question again, this is asking what is the name of the male student, right? This is asking what is the name of the male student. So that means first of all we have to get into the gender field, right? So that means now if I go up, we have 3 boys in the list. Okay, 3 male students in the list, right? So this is asking again, so now we know this is asking about those 3 students, right? Then we go to the second filter or the second question. Now it says, okay, male who was born in 2014. Okay, male student who was born in 2014. So that means gender has to be male and the date of birth must be in 2014. Okay, now let's check those 2 conditions first. Okay, now here, so when I scroll down, you can see we have 3 boys, 3 male students, 1 born in 2014. Okay, that means Max was born in 2014. Then we have Ben, but Ben, was he born in 2014? No, right? He was born in 2015. So that means Ben is out. Then who else? Let's go down. Then we have Will. Okay, so Will is also there, but again Will is a male. Yes, he's a boy, but still he was also born in 2015. So according to the query, what we are looking at, students who was born in 2014, specifically 14, right? So straightforward, male 2014, then it's Max obviously, and let's see the final last condition. Antima condition එක මොකක්ද? So the last condition is we check So, and it is asking and travels on the bus number 7. Okay, so that means male born in 2014 and traveling on the bus number 7. Male සිංහලෙන් කියනවා නම් පිරිමි 2014 ඉපදුන bus number 7 එකේ travel කරන. Okay, ඒක තමයි query එක. So we look for male 14 bus number 7, and when you scroll down you can easily see male, okay, male 2014 traveling on bus number 7, that is Max. So the answer for this first question, if this is asking for the name, no? See, name. So simply the answer is Max. Max, and if you get this question in a paper, then it's better to write the full name as well. So you can write it as Max Fletcher. Okay, Max Fletcher. Okay, super. So can you guys write this down? Write down the question, and so write it as activity. So start as lesson 4, activity 1, and either if you plan to take a printout of this document, then you don't need to write the question, but please do write down the answer. So in this case, the answer is Max Fletcher. Okay, yes, please do write it down. I'll give you a bit of time. Okay, you need more time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go on. So
Sir,
yes,
the semester test is coming.
got it. Okay, up to what extent have you guys done at the school?
We have done unit 1, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, lesson 1, unit 1, right?
Yeah, unit 1,
Okay,
unit 1, unit 2, not unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5.
okay. When is the exams? When are you getting the exams? Because then we can do some papers.
March.
March in the sense beginning of March or at the end of March?
The start of March.
Oh, start of March. Okay. So that means we have.
That means we need to do like 28 pages a day.
That's not practical. Hari, okay. Shall we do something like this? Beginning of March, right? That means the first week of March or the second week of March?
First week of March.
First
The
week.
best one.
Perfect. Okay, let's do something like this. Shall we? I'll add it into the same thing. Shall we do a? We'll be finishing up the unit 1 almost today. So then the first unit will be done. I'll be finishing up. Yeah, not the unit 1. We'll be finishing up unit 1 technically, and I'm trying to do the questions as well. Then shall we next week? Shall we do a full question class? So we'll do all the questions which is already there, and then next week we'll try to do like squeeze in about 2 classes and cover up all the questions. What do you think?
Okay.
Will that sound? Will that be good?
It just need to be very fast and very exciting to learn.
Yeah.
Like this.
Sorry, I lost you there, Rina. This one.
We just need to just be quick and do everything.
Yeah.
With exciting lessons. Like
Yeah,
this.
I don't think it will be it will be practical for us to finish all the modules by that time. No way. Then I can do some extra classes, but the programming part is actually a little bit hard, right? We need a little bit of time for me to explain it to you guys. Have you done the program?
We didn't do the programming.
Okay, so what you did was let give me 1 second. I'll just make a note of it. So unit 1,
3,
1, 3, okay.
4, 5.
5, okay. 1, 3, 4, 5, perfect.
2 and 6 are not there.
2 and 6 are the programming ones, no? So that is entirely skipped. Got it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can actually do this on do a paper type of a paper class, and I can take you through the entire set of questions, and then we can discuss it at that point. I believe that would be the best plan. And can I ask, Dinanya, like, what is your school schedule like? When are you having the exams?
The exam will be held on end of the March.
End of March. Got
Yes,
it.
sir.
Okay. Okay. So, and what are the units which you have covered? Is it the same? First.
Sir, lesson 1 because before we start we didn't had any teachers.
Okay. So you have only done the first lesson.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 So, okay, perfect. Uh, let's do something like this. We'll do another class. I'll just don't worry about the links and all. I'll just share the link. Shall we do a uh, shall we do a quick wrap up class somewhat in next week, somewhere in Monday or Tuesday before we start this? Shall we do something like that? And listen, then we can basically cover that up, because even if you do the questions for Dinanya, then that would be a bit too much for her. So we'll do the class as we are doing on forward, but I'll just do a extra class before, let's say, before we start this one. Let's start it about 1 hour early, and we'll do some questions. What do you think?
Okay, sir.
That's okay. So I'll put a message on the chat. Just let me know. Then we can sort it out likewise. Then everybody gets into a good position. All good?
Okay, sir.
Nice. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Me, did you guys write this down? So the answer is Max. Fletcher Max. Right? Shall we jump to the second question? All good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nice. Okay, perfect. So, my second question. What are the names of the students who were born in 2015 and have Miss Chapman as their form tutor. Okay. So, cool. So you guys got the question, right? The question asks students who was born in 2015 and who has the tutor as allocated as Miss Chapman. Okay. So let's see. කවුද ඉන්නේ 2015 වල ඉපදිච්ච Miss Chapman tutor හැටියට ඉන්න students ලා කවුද? Yes.
It's Sig.
Sig and
Sig and Will.
Sig and Will.
Will.
Perfect. Perfect. Good job. Good job. Now you know how to filter. Perfect. So here, what did we do? We filtered according to the tutor. So it's Chapman, and we found out who are the students who were born in 2015, and it's Signal, Signal and Will Khan. Okay. So yeah, can you write that down as well? So if you have the book, just put the number and put a note in front of it. Otherwise, you can write the question. I'll give you a minute. And listen, did you guys made a video for Unit 4? How did you do that at the school?
We didn't make a video. We just pretended like in the stage.
Okay, but you like recorded a video,
Yeah.
no? Not actually.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We didn't.
Got it.
We just watched videos and made a movie.
Okay. That's good. Okay, perfect. So, yes. So, and then, okay. So, I hope you guys wrote it down. So, the last question. So, it's again similar to the first one where we search for the male students. But in this case, here what we are looking for is male students bus number, right? So there are two filters. One is male, second one is the bus number. So here in this case, if we go down, it would be what? What would be the answer? Male students in bus number, this is 11, right? So what would be the answer? Yes. 2. No, I think I didn't see your answer. Sorry. What did you say? You mentioned 2. 2. මොකක්ද දෙක? Yeah, bus number 2. Hare. So who are the students? Come on.
Ben and Will.
Ben and, correct, Ben and Will. Yes, perfect. Okay. So, I hope that part is clear. So, be ready to get these type of questions. You are going to get this type of, it's, the simple is, sorry, the question is actually easy. I'm not saying it's simple, but it's easy. The thing is, you just need to make sure that you understand the correct filtering. So everything depends on the filtering and the field. Okay. I hope it's clear, right? Okay. So yeah, it is Ben Richards, and again it's Will Khan. Since they are the they are the boys who are in the bus number two or number 11. I don't know. It's either it's Roman number 2 or it's number 11. Perfect. It's clear, right? Let's jump to the next point. So this is a bit of a theory part. So I'll just quickly jump through it. So now, as we discussed, information about students, such as their reports, attendance, and different types of attainments, is confidential, right? And contact details for students, actually, so such as name, telephone numbers, and email phone numbers, as well as stock information such as what type of data, right? So these are all information which a school should have, right? Not technically should, a school will have, because the school should know your details as well as basically your parents' details, your guardians' details. Let's say if by any chance if your parents are unable to contact, then there has to be a third party contact or a guardian who the school can send a message and get their details, right? So all those information, including that, we will have a lot of other information as well, stock information, such as how many devices are there, how many computers are there. Let's say if you take a classroom, during our first class we actually wrote this down, what are the points which a school will have, right? And at the same time, libraries and all this information, that information must be captured, right? Okay, so security, permissions. Obviously, right? Not everybody in the school should be allowed to look at this data, right? So that means the school must add a certain set of permissions and access restrictions to make sure that unauthorized people, we call them unauthorized personnel. That means a person who does not have the authorization or the right to access that content will get access to it. Okay, so example is this permission, this is the primary point behind it, right? Okay, so the example is your class teacher. Obviously your class teacher should have access to your basic details, right? Your parents, your mother's name, your father's name, where you, not technically where you live, that's not that much important for the class teacher, but your parents' phone numbers. If you do something naughty, obviously they will they will give a call and they have the option to report, right? So basic details can or should be able to access. But does the class teacher need to know your parents, where your parents work, or how much your parents earn a month, or your parents' salary? No, right? Technically no, right? They don't need to know that information because that is something private or personal to you. But when you apply to the school and when you join the school, at that point the school needs to know, right? Because now example is let's say when you apply for the grade 1 and when you go to the school itself, the school should and must know your parents, where your parents work and how much your parents earn a month and all that information. And why? Mainly to make sure that they can keep you at the school, right? So that information is required, but now you understand the principal and the school management obviously will need to know it, but others, they do not, right? So now this is when it comes to computers. So the reason we learn about this is, when it comes to computers, this permission is really, really important, as well as a critical point, because if unauthorized people have access to this information, they can do some nasty things, right? Okay. So example is, so if you get access, so for this reason, spreadsheets are not the best method to store information. Example is, now even if the spreadsheet is shared with someone else, then they can easily access and get the details out, right? So they can read the content from the spreadsheet, and they can process the details, and they have the option of technically reading everything, right? So how do you do that? There are different permissions and permission management systems when it comes to databases. Okay, so that is why we use this thing called database management systems. Okay, now, so just get a brief idea. You don't have to write this down. Just know that the concept is, the data should not be shared, and the data needs to have a particular permission. So let's try this out. So now I'll just ask you a few questions. So this we already wrote down this particular point, what sort of databases. But then again, let me ask you the same question. So what sort of databases your school might use? මොන වගේ databases ඉස්කෝලේ තියෙන්න පුළුවන්? Timetables. Perfect. Yes, timetable. Yes, go on. Timetables.
Attendance records.
Yes, attendance records are something similar to a database, but we have some bigger, like larger databases like that. What do you think? What else? We talked about this during the first class, if you remember. This one, any suggestions? What type of databases a school can have? Okay, I'll tell you a few. So, basic examples, student database obviously, and then there can be an inventory database where all the furniture and all the let's say devices, vehicles, and all sorts of things inside the school must be inside a database where you will have something called an inventory, right? So you guys might have seen this, like school boards number. You might have seen it, like every board, every chair, every desk, every whiteboard and everything, they might, or they should contain something like a small number with a code in it. So that is for the inventory. So what you do is you add that number and you add it into an inventory. So the database, the school has a full database of everything they have. Okay, and at the same time, this information will be used to work on the will be used to manage or maintain the school's work. Okay, so then can I ask you a question? Okay, so when it comes to the inventory database, so why do we need an inventory? What do you think? So why do we need to have all the tables, desks, chairs, everything in a database? මොකටද අපිට ඒක ඕනේ? Think, think of a, think of a point. Why do we need an inventory database? Oh, where can we use it? මොනවගේ දෙයකටද ඒක පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්? Yes, Dinanya, what do you think?
For writing notes.
That is the desk, right?
Yes.
No, yeah, okay, perfect. Yes, the desk is for writing notes. No, what I ask, what my question is, think now, all these desks and tables and chairs, let's say, principal has a database of all this information. Database kiyanne mehemai. Now, let's say, what is your class? What is your class? What is your class name? At school, what's the noun?
My class is 6C.
6C. Okay. So, how many desks are there? How many children are there in the class?
25.
25.
42.
42. Okay. So, that means you have 42 tables and 42 chairs, right? Obviously, Nathan.
Not really, because we have connected this.
Oh, okay. So it's like in groups, groups, not
Yeah.
like individual tables. Ah, nice. Okay, perfect. So now just think, if one of those chairs broke, let's say somebody was trying to play around and they break a chair, right? Then actual scenario, that thing, that what happened has to be noted down, right? So, okay, have you seen somebody like accidentally break a chair? Oh, broke a chair at a certain point.
Yes.
Okay, what happened? I mean, what, not to the person, what happened to the chair?
One leg broke and the other left.
Are you okay? So, what did the school do? Did they change the chair?
Yes.
Okay, nice. Okay, so now it's like this. No? Now, okay, that's good.
So
That
we have 24 desks.
24 desks. Okay, that's a lot. 24 desk means එකට එකවල එක දෙන්නෙක් දෙන්නද? Yeah, දෙන්න ගානේ 48.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So now this one making
Some
it
tables are missing. Some tables students are missing.
missing. Okay, but still 48 is a lot. Okay, while I was schooling, the maximum we had was 20 students per class. That was not long time ago also. Yeah, it was a long time ago, but not that long. So now our inventory ke වැඩේ. So what happens is when the school needs to repair a chair, so obviously it costs money, no? Somebody has to pay and repair it, right? So that details has to be entered down at a certain point. හිතමු පුටුව කැඩිලා පුටුව හදන්න යනවා කියමු, let's say it costs you $1,000 to repair the chair. රුපියල් 500ක් යනවා කියමු, let's say 500 rupees, the cost is 500 rupees to repair the chair. Obviously then somebody will have to pay that money, no? That, so when it comes to the information, that information has to be kept someplace, right? And that is where the inventory comes in. So now let's say if this one goes and break a chair, obviously there will be a database in the school. They will obviously put your name and put the class and mark down what happened exactly, the incident. At the same time, they are not going to charge you obviously, but then again that details will be shared. After that, they will use that information to filter the list and to make a record that this chair was broken and it was mended by spending X number of money. So that's why we need an inventory report. ඔය හැම දෙයකම inventory තියෙනවා. Okay, I'll tell you guys a homework to do. So you guys all go with your parents when you go for shopping, right? I mean, to a supermarket or any sort of a shop, right? බලන්න, you guys go for Kiehl's, is it? Kiehl's එකට යනවද බඩු ගන්න? Yeah?
No.
Okay, what's the supermarket you normally visit?
Cargill's.
Cargill's. Okay, perfect. Cargill's. Okay. බලන්න, when you go to a Cargill's, they have this deep freezers where you have ice cream, meat and all this stuff. Look at those deep freezers. Most of the deep freezers, at the side of them, they have an inventory number. Right? And if you look at those machines, weight scales, where they keep your vegetables and all, they weigh and they paste that sticker. බලන්න ඒකෙත් පැත්තේ you might see an inventory number. So that's how they keep track of their devices. So if something happens to a device, so let's say something breaks down or something has to be upgraded, they immediately take that information from based on that number. Okay, that's about inventory. That is not there in your syllabus, but I just told you how it works. Quite interesting topics. Inventory management is a job. It's a dedicated job. There are people who manage inventories, where you go to locations, you take the number of items and you list it down. So it's a designated job, by the way. Perfect. Okay, so jumping back to this, a mind map. Okay, now here this is we are not actually going very in depth into a mind map, but we will be just talking briefly about what this is. Okay, so what is your point of view about a mind map? Listen, what do you think? What is a mind map?
I think thinking of something in our brain or something.
Yes, it's a way of thinking.
Like visualizing a table.
That's the word, exactly. That is visualizing an idea, something which we have in our mind. We use a mind map to visualize it in a way so that we can see the points. Okay, nice. So, Dinan, have you gone through mind maps? Have you seen one of the mind maps before?
No, I think I did not.
Okay. I think Dinan, you guys might have gone through this, right? You have done this, no?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yes, you should. So, I'll just briefly explain මොකක්ද කියලා. So mind maps should have a base. Okay, so this is the base part, the root. We call this the root, and these are all, we call them multiple different terms. We either call them nodes or we call them leaves. Okay, so mind map we normally take the mind map as a tree. Okay, so this starts from the root කියන්නේ ගහක මුලේ ඉඳන් පටන්ගෙන you go up. Okay, so this is going to be the root, and the root will have multiple different root nodes, so that it would have multiple different leaves. Okay, now this is basically a mind map idea about the database and how it's going to be done. Okay, so I'm now this is basically showing you few items. So a school database, who uses it? is it read only or editing aloud? Okay, so this is just to talk about a specific type of database and who has access to it and who needs to edit it. So we'll just talk about one example and then let's see how it works. So just draw something like this, a simple design, simple layout. So let's type, let's get a database when the maker. So just draw a simple design like this. Draw one circle. Put two squares on the side, and then here basically who uses it. Who uses it means who is going to use it. Okay, so let's take a database. DB. Tell me a database. You guys have to tell me one.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, do we need to draw that in our writing book?
Yeah, not the exact thing. Just okay. Let's fill this in first, and then you guys can copy it out. That's easy, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me put a text. Okay, so here let me put a background color for this as well, so that it will look nice. Okay, I'm just going to put it here. Okay, now the text. So who will basically, okay, what is the database? Let's shall we do something like this? So student list, let's call it student database. Okay, nice. So okay, now who will use this? කවුද පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ student database එක? Teachers, not exactly neither පුතා, because now teachers will use it, yes, but the whole student database is not required by the teachers, right? What do you think? මුළු database එකම teachers ට access ඕනේ නෑ නේද? Now let's say the whole database of students, do you think teachers need access to it? ඔක්කොම students ලා දැන් හිතමු ඔයාගේ class එකයි එහා class එකයි junior පොඩි නංගිලා මල්ලිලාගේ classes එකයි. All the details I don't think your teacher would need. Yes, what do you think? මොකද හිතන්නේ?
For management.
Management, perfect, yes. Okay. Okay, so management. Okay, nice, perfect. I think lesson. Management. And what information? So yes, management is the one who is going to use it, and I'll quickly use the same thing. What information will be there? So this would contain student details, right? So the information would be student details, and right, Okay, and then what about the condition? Do we need this to be editable, or is it going to be read only? මේක edit කරන්නත් පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේද නැත්නම් is it going to be just read only? Read only කියන්නේ බලන්න විතරද පුළුවන්? Yes.
It will be read only.
It should be read only. Okay. Can I ask you a different question there? So, then, hurry. It can be read only. Perfect. But if what happened if someone, let's say somebody leaves school or somebody wants to. Okay, so I'll tell you a nice case. So let's say you're living at a certain house, and at a certain point you have to go and live in a different house, or you are going to change your location, change your house. Then yes, it has to be edited, right? I think ඔයාගේ address එක මාරු ගන්න ඕනේ. Got the point? It must be done, right? So that means, technically speaking, yes, it should be editable, but it should be editable by the management or somebody who is going to manage the school, right? For others, it should be all read only, right? So then let's copy this and I'll put it down. Editable management, we'll call it like this. Management can edit and staff can view. You can call it something like this. Got the point? So the student student database, who uses it? Management uses it. What does it have? It has student details, right? What information needs to be kept? It's student details. And who can edit? Management can edit. When it comes to, if it is read only staff can view. Got the point? Is it clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay. Can you both copy this down? You don't have to write it like very, very nice, perfect, but just draw the diagram with the points in. That would make it clear. Listen, are you okay? Any questions?
Yes, sir.
You have a question or not?
No, I don't have.
Okay, perfect. Can you copy this down? It's just a simple display of how it does, how we can display the details.
Sir, I don't really need to copy this because I can remember this stuff, but
It's perfectly fine as long as, so you will have access to the videos also. So if you get the idea, it's perfectly fine. I'm all good, but you remember when we are getting ready for the exam, keep in mind these type of diagrams are easy to explain. Okay, so then you can easily show this and complete. Okay, perfect. Sure.
Excuse me, sir, I have a question. Do we need to write the red color ones and the black ones?
Only the red color ones would be enough.
Okay, sir.
So the black color ones are the question, and the red color one is the answer. I just made it very simple.
Sir, what do we need?
Sorry. Go on.
Sir, what do we need to write in the left one?
Basically, that can be something more. So now in this case we have the student database, you have student details, as well as you can have now let's say what information. So we can keep much more, like let's say here we have the student details, and other way around we can add another type of details we have. Okay, let's copy this and add it to the other side also. So you can keep something like this. So student details, and what else? Student details, then we can call it academic details. We can call it academic details as well. So as long as it's connected to the student, then that is part of the system. So here now මේක අපි මේ පොඩ්ඩයි ලිව්වා. So this is just a let's say this is just a high level view of things. So the system will have academic details, and you will have student details, as well as now this can be expanded into a massive, let's say a massive data set. So student database එකේ තව ගොඩක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Student details are there. Let's say if we break it down, we can say parent details, guardian details, parents, other sub details. So example is at my school, I think they actually take in a full detail of the student, as well as they take in the parents' qualifications also, qualifications, where they work, what type of work they do, and all the details. So it's a massive database. So here we are only taking the baby steps, where we talk about the basic fundamental points. Okay, shall I jump to the next point?
No, sir, not yet. I'm still writing.
Sure. Is it good? Okay. Okay. Shall I move to the next one?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, perfect. If you need to go through this, I will upload this video tonight. So, and we'll share the link on the group, so you can obviously go through it and see. Nice. Okay, so we have lesson 5. So let's finish this off. Then we in this file we have a certain set of assessments. So I'll give you this as the homework. So here's just few questions I want you to answer. Okay. So let's finish this off. So we just need to talk about a point about investigating the use of databases outside school. So,
Excuse me, sir.
yes, shoot.
Sir, do we need the class name? Right?
I don't know, I didn't get you. Sorry?
Is there a class?
No, you know, no. What I said was I will upload this recording tonight and I'll share the link with you guys. So, if you guys want to refer this again, you can go through it. There is no class tonight. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So, super. So, let's jump in and see. So, investigating the use of databases outside school. Investigating ගැන අපි හොයලා බලනවා මොනවද තව databases තියෙන්නේ කියලා which is outside the school system. Okay. So now we talked about all the databases which was in the school, where we talked about student lists and inventories and databases and so on and so forth, like different types of data sets when it comes to school. But outside the school, we have a lot of different databases, right? Okay, now let me ask this one a question. So, okay, you said that you go to Kagis, no? Kagis ke මොනවද තියෙන databases? What type of databases Kagis might have? Yes, go on, go on. Yeah.
The products.
Products, correct. Okay, yeah, product database is there. Then what else? Products.
Staff's database.
Staff database is also there. Now, okay, when you go to Cargills or Keels and when you go to the counter, what do they ask? They ask you a question. මොකක්ද අහන්නේ? Yeah, yes, go on, yeah.
Cash or card?
Yes, cash or card, perfect. Okay, after that, they ask you another question. They ask for your phone number?
Yes.
Exactly. So that is because they have the shopping database. So they have a customer database.
Phone number, they enter their starting asking for the account number.
Yes, either an account number. Okay, so if you go to Keels, they ask you for your Nexus number, right? They ask you the Nexus number එකක් තියනවාද, and then they ask you to type it in. Otherwise, I think Cargills ask you for a loyalty number, right? Loyalty number, and Apico also has another loyalty number where you just tell your phone number, right? So those are databases. So technically, all transactions which you have done through Cargills, Cargills got the badu okkoba, Apico got the badu okkoba, and everything you purchase from Keels, everything is saved in their database. They know what you purchased, as well as all the information when you purchased, what are the specific products you like. Let's say you love to have vanilla ice cream. Oh, no, vanilla. Let's say strawberry ice cream or fruit and nut ice cream. Fruit and nut cream. I also love fruit and nuts. Okay. So now, after you purchase it couple of times, they have a database. අපි අර බැලුවේ දැන් මේ බස් එකේ, so we went through the bus and we found out who are the boys who went in that bus who was born in 2015. Likewise, they have a database where they can find out who like to buy or who like to eat, not technically eat, so they don't know whether we had it or not. But then again, since we purchased it couple of times, they have a database where it will basically show that you have purchased a fruit and nut ice cream on this day. So දැන් හිත මම කීල්ස් එකේ මං කියමු අපි මොකක්ද කියන්නේ, tell me a brand, a fruit and nut ice cream brand. You guys don't like ice cream, is it? Okay.
Elephant house.
Elephant house. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So let's say now if okay. So let's say if Dinanya is marketing manager of Elephant House and you want to put a offer today for 20% off for Elephant House fruit and nut ice cream, then what you would do is, let's say if Tisan is the manager of Cargills, you will give a call to him and you will say, hey, I want to do a fruit and nut promotion. Can you send a message to all your customers who like to eat fruit and nut ice cream? The mama customer, okay? Now what Disan does is, he goes to his database and he filters all the customers who has purchased fruit and nut ice cream before. Then he get a list of customers. If I have purchased that as well, then my phone number will also be there. ඔන්න දැන් අල්ලගත්ත number එකේ. Now that information is really valuable. So the whole purpose of explaining this is just to teach you guys how information is valuable. Now for you, for Dinanya, for your company Elephant House, now you can launch a campaign. We call it a campaign. How do the TV came ads? So for that we call them campaigns. You can launch a campaign specifically targeting that customer base. දැන් හිතන්න මම fruit and nut ice cream 10ක් කරන් තිනවා මාසෙකට. So that means obviously I might love fruit and nut ice cream, right? Either I'm buying it for my wife or my girlfriend, or I like to eat fruit and nut ice cream, right? So that means when you launch the campaign, I'm going to get the message saying, hey Vipula, may other fruit and nut 50% off. Do you want to eat an ice cream? And since I am already a customer and I already have bought fruit and nut ice cream before, I'll rush to Cargills and buy it. That's how the business world works. Okay, so that's why we need databases. Now, so basically, when I was working at different companies, I used to build large databases. So I have built databases where we had close to 10 million customers, So the reason what we do is we get those customer information, and we create specific promotions. And during this beginning of the lecture, I said that Google and these social media platforms know you better than you know yourself. No? Similar to that. අපි ඔය data ටික අරගෙන අපි ඕක analyze කරලා we create a digital you. And then for that digital you, we know what to sell, and we know what you are expecting. Okay, that's why we send you the specific SMS messages. I'm pretty sure, take your mom's or dad's phone and check for messages which has been received from Cargill's, Kiehl's, Arpico and all these shopping chains. You might see a resemblance where it might show you that they have received a message for something which they have purchased before. Okay, got the idea? Is it too complicated? Clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So now, I actually told you guys a big example, but if you take two simple examples like a gym and a clothing store, a gym and a normal fashion clothing store. So there are few information we need. So when it comes to the gym, obviously, there are some certain points, or we call them factors, which we need to save, right? Factor එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි specific point එකක් කියන එක. හරිද? දැන් අපි gym එක ගත්තාම, if we take the gym, then there are specific details which we need for the gym, right? So example is you need the name and the address, right? Obviously, no, name and the address දෙකම තියෙන්න බෑ. Then medical records, really important, because let's say if you have some sort of a medical condition, මොන හරි සිංහලෙන් කියනවා මොන හරි ලෙඩක් තියෙනවා නම්, and if you go to a gym and you work out there and you get into some sort of an injury, because there are people where they have different injuries, right? You might have different injuries, so you have to clearly tell them what you have, and that information must be clearly recorded as well, right? Otherwise, if something happens to you when you are spending time in the gym, then if nobody knew what type of complications you had, it's going to be a problem, right? Because then people might get confused and they will not be able to help you, and there can be a big, you can get into big trouble, right? And then ultimately, classes taken, how many classes which you have taken at that gym, right? Okay, and then there can be some personal records like gym equipment, what type of gym equipment you have used, personal details, the job type, exercise classes. Gyms has exercise classes, so how many classes you have participated to, and how was the, let's say, how was the training, and all this information, right? And then what would be the search like? Within search එක හරි. දැන් අපි gym එකක okay, just imagine let's say if Dinana is a gym owner, what type of information you would need? ඔයාට මොන වගේ විස්තරයක්ද database එකෙන් ඕනේ කරන්නේ? What type of information will you need to take out from the database? What do you think? Just tell me what comes into your mind. මොකද හිතන්නේ? You got the question? You want me to explain the question again? What about this and what do you think? What type of information? So if you take a gym, මොනවද ඕක ඕනේ කරන්නේ? What type of information you will have to take out?
What are the equipments in there?
Sorry, what are the
What are the gym equipments in there?
equipments? Okay. Now, think about the basic details. හරි. දැන් ඔයාගේ gym එක මම එනවා gym එකට. When I'm there at the gym, what do you need to check? When I come to your gym, let's say you're a gym owner and I come to your gym, what do you think you will check first?
Health.
Not exactly correct, but yes. Hari, okay. I'll tell you the
Weight.
point. Sorry, weight.
Yes.
Weight is also has to be checked, but before everything, there's one thing to be checked.
The knee.
Need. You mean the need?
Address.
Sorry?
The name and address.
Name and address, yes. After that, when you register for a gym, when you go to a gym and when you register, what do you get?
Membership card.
Membership card, exactly. Perfect. 100% correct. That's it. So when you go to a gym and when you register, first of all, you get the membership card, no? So now, when I come to your gym, first thing you have to check is බලන්න ඕනේ මොකට membership එකක් තියෙනවද කියලා. If I don't have a valid membership, then හරි වැඩේ. You have to charge me, no? Otherwise, I'll be using the gym for free. Right? You get the point? So, කවුරු හරි ආව the first thing you have to check is whether the membership is valid. If the person's membership is not valid, then you have to ask them to pay. Right? Perfect. Okay. So, that means a database has to show that information. So, at the same time, nice, a good answer. So at the same time, if we look at a totally different point of view about a clothing shop, okay, so a clothing store, same as the gym, but the gym is collecting a lot of personal information, like private information about you, but in a clothing store, they don't ask private information. So clothing store එක ගියාම බර කීයද කියලා අහන්නේ නැහැ. They don't want to save that information, right? But at the same time, but they need the customer information, obviously. So the customer name and the customer address is not mandatory, but it's valuable because then, as I told you before, හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න කාගිල්ස් example එක, ice cream example එක. Same as that, the system can recommend new stuff, new products to the customers, right? So then, based on that, name and address, then primary details, stocks, so the product prices, how many products are there, so the product quantity means how many items of that product is there. කියමු අපි t-shirt එකක් නම් t-shirt එකෙන් කීයක් තියෙනවද? හරි? Then stock suppliers. Stock suppliers means who is supplying the stock. So when you go to a clothing shop, let's say, what comes to my mind? Okay, Cool Planet. If you go to Cool Planet, you will see that there are a lot of different suppliers or different brands at the location, right? Brands ගොඩක් තියෙනවා, එක එක brands තියෙනවා. You will have like very popular international brands, you will have Sri Lankan brands, you will have imported different brands and so on and so forth. So those are the suppliers. Right? Then staff. detail. So there will be a staff detail. So how many people are working, their personal details, their job type, and all the information which is required to handle the staffing. Right? So in this case also, I'll explain this one. So for the search might include how many products a customer has bought. Or let's say, if we apply the same fruit and nut example to this one, let's say let's say if Dinanya is a specific, so you love a specific type of t-shirts which is being sold at Cool Planet. Printed t-shirt එකක්. So you have purchased 5 different t-shirts from Cool Planet. Then now let's say if I am the t-shirt manufacturer, මම නම් t-shirt එක හදන්නේ, I'm releasing a new one, new brand, and then I might ask Cool Planet to send you a message since you have purchased my t-shirts so far, to let you know that I'm dropping some new content or new products. අපි කියන්නේ product drops කියලා now. That's the new word for that, right? So then that search will get me your details, and then I can send you a message saying, hey Dinana, these are the new products, these are the new t-shirts or new printed t-shirts I'm releasing now. Why don't you give it a try and see? Right? Okay, so that's the idea behind different types of databases which we have outside. Okay, so now this is I already explained this part about privacy and statements. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 homeworks. So one is please do go through this mid-unit assessment, and please do complete the questions. You don't need to write it down. You can just tell me the numbers next time when we start, or just please do it. Just take a printout, mark, and send it to me on WhatsApp. That's also perfectly fine. And I need to give you one more one more homework, which is I want you to write a similar database, something like this. So here we talk about the gym and the clothing store. So I want you to come up with another database, any database, anything. It can be a zoo, it can be a shop, it can be, let's say, it can be a toy shop, or it can be a tuition class, or any location you feel, apart from what we have done so far. And please do write that down and send it to me as well. And then next week we can jump into the lesson 6, and next week we'll be finishing up the unit 1. Okay, as well as I told this one, we'll try to do a class. Either we'll start the class a little bit earlier, or we'll do it on another day and we'll do a question class. Dinana can join, obviously. You can join for that as well, but that would be a little bit of a fast class where I will go through all the units and we'll do some questions to prepare you for the exam. So Dinana, you do please join as well, because we will do the unit 1 questions too. Okay, nice, perfect. Any questions?
No, sir.
Nice. Okay, then guys, we can finish up the class. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message, and then we'll see. Yes. Hello.
Sir,
Yeah. Yes. This.
we have only one homework.
Yeah. This set of questions which you have here, and I want you to come up with a database, another small explanation of a database like this. So you can use your imagination. I'm not going to give you a specific business model. You can come up with the business model, but it must be accurate like this. I'll be asking you questions about the structure so that we can see how it goes. Clear? All good? Perfect? Nice. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, we can wrap it up the class. I'll let you know about the extra class date on WhatsApp so that we can start from there. Super. See you then.
Bye, sir.
See you. Good night.